Greetings, I'm Mike. This is the introduction to the video version of Transition. This is meant to analyze how the world's changing and what we can do about it. Because if you're paying attention, it's pretty obvious the world's changing a lot, and it's a little scary. You have to wonder what it's going to be like for your children and their children in the future. How can we maybe make the world a better place and avoid some of the things that look like disasters that are coming behind us? And that's the problem, is the world is changing, and I approach this as a biological problem, because then you can bring the tools of science to bear on it. So I just looked at humans in terms of ecology and niche, because we don't live in the ecology we developed in. There's no room for hunter-gatherers. We need to create a new niche for humans to survive in. And so first I had to look at what the problems are, and that's actually how I got into this. Before I was looking at the ecology, I was looking at disease, because disease has always been a major factor for human existence, and we beat it to some degree, but hey, there's a lot more people, and we travel, and truth is, shortly after they developed antibiotics, they saw antibiotic resistance, and we're seeing that more and more, that diseases like tuberculosis are coming back, and they're very hard to beat now. You've heard of the antibiotic resistant staph, and there's that new one in Asia that looks really tough, and that's what we're going to see. Some diseases will get beat, but some we're really going to have a hard time beating them. And what it seems like from what the medical people are learning is we're getting a little bit surprised by diseases. The ones that we're concerned with, we didn't see coming. But also with this, what we call human progress is, has been to beat disease, has been to defeat the things that kill humans. Well, those are called natural selection. That's what's created evolution. And if we don't, if we remove the agents that remove the sick and the weak, well, you're causing a massive change that we really have a problem, we'll have a real problem surviving. And so the first section of this study was about the genetics and how we could husband the genetics, how we could foster the good genes and try and remove some of the bad ones. Now, as soon as I say that, I have to address that this has to be done in a moral context, because this is about science and lots of facts, but if you look at this, you're going to judge this in terms of your moral instincts, which are far older than your intellectual abilities. So while this is based upon science, it's framed as morality. It's far more than science. And it has to be taken from many fields of study. Sciences, literature, archetypes, what we think we are, what we hope we can be, lore, the stories that come through history but they're hard to document. And I've even had to look at instincts, because as I say, this has to satisfy your moral instinct. So most of this, particularly the early genetic work, has been passed by people that were very highly religious, because they have very highly developed moral instincts, and I had to be sure not to set off anything that seems to violate moral instincts. I mean, we may one day fly around the universe in galaxy-class starships, but that is not what your moral instincts are about. They're about survival, family, community, and the individual. Well, the thing is, though, we don't live just by instincts either. The mark of the human is that we live by learned survival strategies. We call these moral systems. But the problem is that our moral systems are based largely on authority and precedence. They come from history and religion. And they work fairly well, but they won't work in the future, because they can't be analyzed and they can't be defended. In the future, the moral systems will have to be based upon reason and understanding. That way we can find out if there's flaws in them. I mean, most moral systems have said, well, a big family is a really good way to survive. Well, no, we've sort of changed from a quantity strategy of reproduction to a quality strategy. And so we have to be able to see this and understand this and be able to make sense of it. And if you can't explain the reasoning behind a moral system, the foundation, you can't defend it. As I say, we're already seeing this. So I've worked on this since I was 15. I've studied everything. I'm a little obsessed, but that's a good way to solve difficult problems. And largely, though, I was solving problems from the past. I can describe how we can survive some of our worst problems, disease, genetics, how we can start to formulate new moral systems for survival. But I wasn't as interested in the future because, if I'm right, we're going to have some more intelligent people in the future with much more information to work with. I mean, we're a young species as far as what we're doing, now using technology and science. We're very young. But a friend of mine got me to look in the future a little bit. So I looked at human aspiration, things that are expressed in literature, religion, archetype. A good example is the so popular vampire novels now. And what do they say? What do they offer? Beauty, love, youth, immortality, adventure. That's what books offer. That says it all. Health, romance, adventure. Religions, they seem to offer more of immortality, peace, contentment, love. Those are human aspirations. Now, if you look in the archetypes, you'll see the farmer who said, I just want a peaceful place to farm. Or in the shoes of the fisherman, he went among the people and asked, what do you want? He said, I want my son to grow taller than myself. Well, that's about the best expression of moral instinct that you're going to ever find. Well, so I was looking at this and I cross-referenced it to my genetic work particularly, and what I found shocked me, because if I project what my genetic ideas offer us and a little bit of technology, these things we aspire to, our highest aspirations, are pretty, not just possible, but likely. And if you cross-reference this, what I found with the lore, religion, and people's instincts, what I found was absolutely shocking. So, far more shocking than just a way to survive into the future. And that's important in a way, because to get to the future, I think we're going to need some inspiration. And what I found, I think, qualifies as inspirational. So in any case, I'm hoping that this will answer questions that many people have asked sometime in their life. I hope this will answer some questions that you didn't think could be answered. But I also think this raises questions and possibilities that most people would never have dreamed of. I wouldn't have. And it's truly incredible. So I hope you'll check out these videos. If you haven't seen the short ones, it might be a good place to start, because this is pretty complicated. Like I say, you might look at the book. It's a little more detailed. But the idea is to create, and that's what the short videos are, is to create a single idea of how to look at humans. This isn't about one solution. This is about how to judge the possibilities and to look at the solutions. This is to create a structure. Michael Polanyi would have called it emergent knowledge, and where once you put it together in the right order and the right shape, then you can analyze it and add pieces, subtract pieces. And that's what I've tried to create. So I hope you find this interesting, and with luck at all, it will open up some doors for humans in the future. Thank you very much. I hope you like this.